Whew. All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. Today, it is Monday. It's honestly a huge market week. We got Nvidia earnings. We have GDP data. We've got PCE data. We've got durable good orders today. We've got a lot of stuff going on this week. Honestly, this whole week is busy, to be honest. Tomorrow we got Case-Shiller consumer confidence. Wednesday's a little bit slow outside of Nvidia earnings in the evening, but it's still a really big day. Yeah, so let's talk about it. Nvidia breaking, recent highs, not quite lifetime highs yet, but Nvidia is getting up there breaking recent highs. You can see it up here. Nvidia all the way up to 130. It's kind of a crazy move for Nvidia, in all honesty, man. This thing has gone up a lot. Yeah, today we got durable good orders dropping at 8:30 Eastern. Yeah. So be ready, guys. We're going to do our best to cover all of it this week. And last week was a pretty influential week. We had the Jackson Hole Symposium. We had a lot of stuff. We had Jackson Hole. We had, what else did we have last week? No, I'm drawing a blank. Next week's actually really busy too, so we don't really have a break, right? And I love these type of months where we don't really have any type of break and stuff. So next week we've got stuff on Monday. Or no, Monday is Labor Day. Tuesday, we got manufacturing and ISM manufacturing PMI, which is the Institute of Supply Management. Wednesday, we got JOLTS report, trade deficit, auto sales, factory orders. Thursday, we got ADP non-farm employment numbers, so prelim payroll numbers, jobless claims numbers, services, PMI, ISM services. And then Friday, we've got the unemployment and non-farm payroll report next week. This past week, we had the Fed minutes report, jobless claims, Powell. And so, yeah, this week's a busier week for sure. Because, again, like the big thing about this week is, number one, Thursday's GDP report. The last GDP report we had was called the initial estimate. It's the least accurate GDP numbers that we'll get on a regular basis, right? It's the least accurate. Again, it's called the initial estimate because it's just the first look at GDP, right? It's the least accurate. Over the next two reports, they will update this and give more accurate numbers. And the last time GDP showed up at 2.8%, a lot of people are saying we're in a recession and all this stuff. So this report is very relevant because it's going to correct the previous report in terms of accuracy. And if it corrects it downward, right, like if it revises it downward, if we get let's say 2% instead of 2.8%, or even lower than that, 1 point something percent, that could spark a panic. It really could. If Thursday's GDP numbers come in bad, Friday's PCE report is very relevant as well. PCE, core PCE specifically, is what the Fed uses to gauge inflation. And so with the Fed looking at cutting rates next month, it's really important to understand that PCE is very relevant to those rate cuts. If PCE spikes in a major way, it's got to be a major way, but if it does spike in a big way like that, the Fed might reconsider rate cuts or come out a little bit more restrictive or hawkish, and that's something to pay attention to as well. Yeah, and then obviously we've got Nvidia earnings the day after tomorrow, which is probably the biggest report we've ever seen in markets. It's incredibly relevant. Last Nvidia report, we had over 10,000 people watching. Usually these reports are monstrously huge. And so it's just a very relevant report. Everybody in the stock market, financial markets are going to be tuning in to Wednesday. Right here at Beginner Trading, they're going to be tuning in. So we'll see what happens. It should be crazy, to be honest. But yeah, we will see. We got Nvidia earnings. Sorry for the echo. Let me get some music playing here. What's up, Chocolate, Ty, JP, Radical, Eric, Mo, Real, Freddie, Martin, Joven, Show. All right. So, yeah, guys, crazy week. Nvidia, with that said, on the heels of a big green day Friday and then a big green day in pre-market so far today, up to 131s or 130.50s in pre-market today. So Nvidia pumping up, dragging the whole market up. The SPY's up very, very close to all-time highs, right? The SPY is very, very, very close to all-time highs. Hey, congrats, Ty. That's great, man. Appreciate it. But yeah, again, the SPY is very close to lifetime highs. If you look at the previous lifetime high report or lifetime high number, it's at 565.30s. So we are very, very close to that. We're at 563s. And so if we get bullish action after the opening bell today, we very could easily break lifetime highs. We'll see if we do or not. Nvidia is vastly more important than GDP. GDP is relevant. It's the first revision. So it's the first revision of the last data. It's relevant for sure. I would say PCE is more important than GDP as well, ER. So generally speaking, in terms of like what I cover here, right? Like me covering these reports every month helps me to see what's important and what's not. And so PCE is probably more important than GDP, although this GDP report might be a little bit more relevant than normal, considering a lot of people are pushing for like recession, fears and stuff like that. In that regard, this GDP report, revising the last very strong GDP report at 2.8% might be very important, but it's still not going to overpower PCE data, or especially not Nvidia earnings. Like I would say with normal GDP reports, I can just gauge by my viewers specifically, right? Like normal GDP reports, we get, I would say like 1,000 to 2,000 people watching when GDP comes out. We'll have like 1,000 to 2,000 people, concurrent viewers. Usually, I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. We're going to have 6,000 people Thursday, just to, because that's what I want to happen. But Nvidia earnings, the last two, we both had over 10,000 concurrent viewers watching, right? The first one, we got almost 100,000 total views. It's something that like Nvidia moves markets right now. So Nvidia is the mover of markets right now. It is wildly influential over markets. It's just a huge report. And so, yeah, everybody's going to be tuning into Nvidia on Wednesday for sure. Like without question. It's just such a massive, massive report. Everybody's watching it. So, yeah. I'm worried about jobless claims. Jobless claims are still, like, I'm not saying they're completely insignificant. But they're like, we got a lot larger reports this week over jobless claims, weekly unemployment filings, Does the SPY break lifetime highs today? Over, what is it? Over 565.39. Vote on the poll. Let me know what you guys think. Does the SPY break lifetime highs today? Well, it's not about that. It's more so about understanding economic reports, like the actual unemployment filings. The actual unemployment percentage drops next week. That's a much bigger report than like jobless claims weekly unemployment filings that come out. I cover jobless claims every week, but that's one of the least important reports this week, I would say. Just because it's a weekly report. It's regardless of whether it's up big or down big, it's still a weekly report, right? Just considering it drops every single week, it's just less significant and less impactful over markets versus something like GDP that drops once a month, especially something like Nvidia earnings that drops once per quarter. Yeah, it's just not as important. Main item of earnings report will be status of Blackwell chips, 100%. Yeah, for sure. Hey, what's up, Andrew? Clinton. What's up, guys? I'm worried about claims. Hey, what's up, Sugar Ray? Phil, what's up, man? So durable good orders dropped today. That's what we got the timer for. It drops in about an hour. It's a report. I don't know if it's going to be a massive report or anything, but it's something. Like we'll cover it. It drops in exactly an hour, roughly. I would watch oil, Mo. Oil is probably what you want to watch with that in mind. Oil's bounced in the last couple weeks, or last day. Oil's up a lot today too. Probably on that news. Gold specifically still teetering around lifetime highs. Lifetime highs are 2570s now. It's at 2556, so it's pretty close to lifetime highs still today. It's not that far away for gold breaking lifetime highs. So gold could break lifetime highs again as well. Yeah, the implied volatility is always going to be crazy around Nvidia leading into earnings for sure, right? Like, so there's always going to be implied volatility that's high for Nvidia, just because Nvidia has the chance to move really big or disappoint people, and so people are going to be betting like crazy on it anytime you get a big report for a specific stock, like if it's a big earnings report or a big economic report for the S&P or the NASDAQ or something like that, the IV is going to be way above normal, just because, the easiest way to put it is because the potential profit is way above normal, right? So like you could profit big or lose big on these moments. And so with that, like, in that regard, IV is going to be higher. All right, so yeah, durable good orders, critical economic indicator. They provide insight into the future health of manufacturing and the broader economy. They gauge economic activity. They're typically expensive items with a lifespan of 3 years or more, such as automobiles, appliances, and machinery is what counts as a durable good item. So again, this has to do with like automobiles, appliances, machinery, things that last a long time. An increase in durable good order suggests that businesses and consumers are confident enough in the economy to make significant long-term investments, and conversely, a decrease can indicate economic uncertainty or reduced consumer spending power. High orders for durable goods often leads to increased production, which can signal future economic growth. Manufacturers may ramp up productions to meet demand, leading to more jobs, higher income, future spending. It could create a positive feedback loop in the economy in which, we produce more, so we buy more. Business confidence also can go up. Durable goods are often purchased by businesses specifically, right? So as part of capital expenditures, the level of orders can reflect confidence in the current economy. A lot of orders can also mean that businesses are optimistic as well. If they're buying up a bunch of stuff, they can be optimistic about future conditions and are willing to invest in stuff like that. It can also have an impact on GDP. So durable goods are a component of GDP calculations. As they increase, they contribute positively to GDP growth, and as they go down, they contribute negativity to GDP growth. An increase in durable goods can lead to higher demand for raw materials and labor, which can cause inflation problems. But essentially, the easiest way to put it is like a higher than expected durable goods report signals a stronger economy, but more inflation problems is what, to watch for this list. Hey, John, what do you say to people who say trading is gambling? It's hard to tell, right? Like, it depends on how you classify everything. Like, if you classify gambling as risking money to potentially make money, of course it's gambling. But in that regard, life is a gamble. Everything's gambling, right? If you classify it gambling as risking money with unfavorable odds, then it depends. It depends on the person, depends on the system. I think there's a lot of like traders that lose money and kind of blame everybody else and blame the sector instead of blaming themselves for having bad discipline and risk management. And so, the stock market is a very broad thing. The futures market's a very broad thing. Like, there's some good traders, bad traders. There's some traders that make money. There's some traders that lose money. And I think that you have to, I don't think you can just lash out at the whole sector. I think, one thing I try to do one thing I try to do here is I try to tell people I'm not an expert. I tell people not to copy me. I tell people it's like trading is risky. I tell people most day traders lose so that they can have that before they go into it. You know what I mean? So they can understand it before they get involved with it. And I think I feel better about that than like acting like I'm just getting rich and, blah, 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 right? Like, I'd rather just be real with people, and that's the truth, right? But it's also a skill that you can develop and build. You see people that build these massive wealth from trading and investing. You just got to figure out what you're good at. Like, a lot of day traders should try swing trading. A lot of swing traders should try long-term investing. A lot of long-term investors can try short-term trading. It just depends on the person's attributes, to be honest, right? Like, I was trading jiu-jitsu yesterday with a group of friends, right? And we were all talking about how everybody's good at different things, right? Like, I'm fast. I use speed to my advantage, but I don't have the best pressure, So, like, I usually go from position to position, north-south, side control, mount, back to side control, north-south, like, go for a darce. Like, if that doesn't work, I take their back. If that doesn't work, I go for a guillotine. If that doesn't work, I go for an armbar, right? But other people are kind of like slow, like I'm gonna really like burn you out. I'm gonna just do pressure, pressure, pressure. And so everybody's different, and you gotta have a game plan that goes with your own attributes. And the same thing relates to trading, right? Like you have to have a game plan that follows your own strengths. You know, if you get involved, if you're a gambler by nature, right, where you love risking money, and you love you love the butterflies in your stomach and you can't control yourself, you love the thrill of losing, then you probably shouldn't be trading at all, to be honest, right? Like there's a lot of like by personality gamblers that really are kind of like addicted to it. And for me, I'm the opposite of that. Like I don't like gambling at all. Like I went to the casino to play poker because I love poker, right? And poker's a little bit different. Poker's very similar to like trading. And when I found out they didn't have live poker tables, I had like $600-700 in cash. I just left, right? Like I just left. I didn't put any money down on anything else because I don't like gambling at all. I don't like risking money. I don't like losing money, especially. I hate to lose. And so the point is, you got to just figure out what you're good at. And you're not going to be good at everything. Everybody's not going to be good at day trading, just like everybody's not going to be good at swing trading or investing or whatever, crypto, whatever it is. You just got to figure out like your style. Where's AMD? Is AMD benefiting or going down from all this? Well, it's all chess, Joshua. Options is just a little bit. There's a little bit more conditions. Conflicts. Can you give your observation about buying or selling during earnings? I always catch a portion of it, but never the full thing, and feel like it's solid advice. I mean, most of the time there's no real edge in terms of like buying up a big position ahead of earnings. Like you're just like, you don't know how the market's going to respond to the earnings. You don't know what the earnings are going to be. And so it's just risky to do so. I would, the only time I play earnings are if I'm already holding the stock and I'm up enough and I can let it go through the earnings report, but it's still a risk doing that. If I'm holding long term, it doesn't matter. I just hold it. But yeah, there's this thing where gamblers get together and try to take massive positions like the day before earnings calls. And that's just a gamble. Like that's justified gambling. That's just not what I really push for. Think anybody should necessarily do. I think it's risky. I think people overanalyze every little thing. Buy big dips, sell big run-ups. I think a very easy strategy that's pretty accurate is waiting for healthy blue chips to buy dips and look for them to pull back substantially and just buy them up and sit on them. But that's kind of parallel with like swing trading or long-term investing, right? It's kind of the same thing. You might get a little bit better entry doing it, but you're still going to make money long-term regardless of that rebound or whatever happens. So yeah, it just depends, man. Everybody's different. There's different strategies that can work. The market's very broad. Yeah, Nvidia, very powerful stock, man. It's up a lot, and this has the chance to make or break markets, right? Like Nvidia earnings has the ability to make or break markets. You got people pushing for a stock market crash. You got people pushing for high breaks. Either one of those things could happen on the heels of Nvidia earnings, right? It really depends on what Nvidia shows. Not only that, but again, we've got Nvidia earnings Wednesday, GDP data Thursday, PCE data Friday. Next week we have the JOLTS report, non-farm employment and payroll numbers. And then we have unemployment data coming out. So we just got a lot of stuff going on, right, this week and next week. So just be careful, guys. Yeah, never really heard of that, Matt, about the robotics company. All right, looking at our poll numbers here, 60% of people think the SPY is going to break lifetime highs today. AMD's up a little bit, but not as much as you might think. And again, gold getting ready to break lifetime highs. Gold is about $15 away, or about $20 away from lifetime highs here. So if gold pushes up $20, it's breaking lifetime highs. No, there's not really any way. Great. So the options market opens up at the bell, so you're not really going to be able to see stuff. All right. Space, I don't know, man. I just don't trust Space as a company. You know, and I say this, right? Like, people are so emotional sometimes, and I'm not saying anybody here. I'm not talking about anybody here. But, like, what I notice is that some of the really big haters on the channel, they're like that because I might disagree with them about a specific holding of theirs, right? And if one disagreement makes you emotional, you shouldn't be trading stocks. Everybody's going to disagree. I'm going to disagree with everybody here on certain things, and that's okay. Nobody's going to agree with me 100% unless they basically learned everything from me. But again, I don't like Space. I think Space is never going to succeed. Crazy, wild valuations. You know, it just doesn't have the business. The business model is inherently riskier than almost any other industry. The space industry, incredibly expensive. The likelihood that they're going to be able to get back what they've spent on this company, very, very, very low. Very, very low probability, you know. And it's downtrended massively for years. And maybe it's cheaped out here. I don't know. All I know is I've been saying this for 3-4 years now, and I was right. It's been split a lot. I just don't trust this company at all, you know. And you know, this is one of those stocks that, you know, every little while somebody puts out some big, this thing's gonna squeeze and go crazy and it's gonna go to the moon and like all this stuff. But it's, you start to see the patterns, right? This happens regularly with Space. You know, somebody puts out some type of sensationalist story about it, like it's gonna go crazy. The reality is you gotta stop, take a step back, think about the company overall. Space company, incredibly expensive, losing money regularly, low margin business, you know, just not for me. Yeah, for sure. Definitely top 3 all-time worst and best space hater in the world right now. Nvidia, break it down a little bit, break it under these previous lows levels, under 130 now. You know, here's the previous lifetime high, and then there's the SPY right there. So the SPY is getting close. All right. Oh. All right, guys, Nvidia, we got 130. It's in there. Yep. Almost 10%. Space micro or NVIS. Man, NVIS. You know, again, NVIS was another one of these stocks, right? Like NVIS, I would say like 3 or 4 years ago, this thing was what, like $15, $16 a share. And like everybody was super hyped up about it. Yeah, look, $15 a share. See, I know my stuff with these. I didn't even look at this, but I remember these companies, right? And people would come to my stream and they would talk about how this is just the biggest company in the world and that it was going to go crazy. And now it's under $1 a share. So I guess if there's a point to my ranting today, the point is, don't listen to anybody on the internet. Like, especially the more hyped up it is, the more people are pressuring you to buy stuff. the more people are telling you it's the greatest thing ever, the more skeptical you should be, you know, because people who are losing money in it, like, they're gonna pump it up, right? So if something's going down and down and you're holding this, what are you gonna do? You're gonna say, hey, everybody, this is the greatest stock ever. You should buy it, right? Hoping you get a pump back up and you can exit. You know, but then it keeps going down. Hey, guys, greatest company ever, down. And so, yeah, just be careful. Like, healthy companies, the easiest way to put it is healthy companies, right? Like, genuinely, truly healthy companies do not need to talk you into buying them, you know. They don't need a big community telling you to buy it, right? Like, people are just going to buy it because it's healthy, because the numbers speak for itself. Companies that are sketchy are usually going to have a large community, kind of bag holders patting each other on the back, telling each other how great they are, how great the company is, as the company continues to be a wildly depreciating stock. And so, yeah. Durable good orders is what that's for. Durable goods drop. Yeah, I've never really heard of it. It's up a lot. It's a penny stock. Rich Tech Robotics or whatever it is. It's up a lot, but a really bad long-term chart. Tesla dipping down to 219s. Somebody said this was crashing. They said, oh, Tesla's crashing already. I'm sitting there like, really? I mean, I know it's down on the day or two, but it's still up pretty big yesterday or Friday. So Tesla over 200. I've been at Tesla and watched it go from 160s to 230s, 240s. So as long as it's over 200, I'm okay with it. Yeah, for sure. 100% tie. They really did. Do you think durable goods will affect the market as much as other reports? No, probably not. Yeah, I mean, it's not like a monstrously large report or anything like that. Whew. Yeah, dude. So I've been trading jiu-jitsu, and one of my main like white belt trading partners started to drill heel hooks. I gotta learn heel hook defense, dude. Hey, thank you, Matt. Just the same rules apply to crypto. Crypto's a different market. You know, I would say there's more sketchiness in crypto, but I also think that crypto sketchiness, like, there's more potential for those meme coins and stuff like that to go really big in crypto versus stocks, right? Like some of these meme coins, like Bonk, like Pepe, they've had some of the craziest like wealth sparking runs that you've seen, you know, but it doesn't happen all the time. And, you know, if you do invest in some of those things, you got to just be okay with losing whatever you spend on it, because, you know, it's certainly possible. And remember, I'm terrible and I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm great, and I also have top 3 greatest of all time and worst of all time ever in the world. Don't copy me. Not an investment professional. It's entertainment purposes only, and my experiences, wins or losses in trades may be conducted in real time or on stream. May not be conducted in real time or on stream. Basically, I might trade off stream. Do not copy me. Understand CFTC 4.41 hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations. Guys, I feel like a pharmaceutical company commercial when I do that. You know. What is a good strike price for today? I mean, Z, are you really asking me what's a good strike price without giving me a symbol? Like, just like a universal strike price? 5. Is, you know, 5. Hey, what's up, Beach Bum? What are my side effects? Side effects of happiness, but also sadness. Hating, you know. Hating's definitely a side effect. Might turn into a hater. All right. Diarrhea. There's a new wonder drug for Alzheimer's. I didn't. I heard that jiu-jitsu was good for Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, though. You know, like my wife, originally my wife kind of hates jiu-jitsu, specifically because I never shut up about it, you know. I'm like, hey, baby, you know, I learned this submission today. I learned how to transition from a back mount to an arm bar. You know, you got to just get the Kimura grip. At a certain point, it's been like a year now of that stuff. My wife's like, dude, shut up. But yeah. But now my wife's pushing me to train, and she wants my kids to train too because she said that jiu-jitsu is good. They've done studies or something that show that jiu-jitsu helps you avoid mental decline as you age, right? There's something about how you do it, like there's something about it that makes you avoid mental decline. I don't know. Hey, thank you, Z. I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much. Hey, what's up, Sam? Yeah, that might be it too, Ty. All right, well, we got over 400 people here already. We still got 40 minutes before durable good orders. All right, so let's see. AI is going to help me out today. Yeah, so again, the SPY bouncing back. SPY's really close to lifetime highs. It bounced right at that previous close level. All right, guys, so Nvidia is the spotlight as it continues to see significant movement ahead of its upcoming earnings report. It's expected to be one of the most closely watched events this quarter. Investors are particularly focused on how the company's AI segment will perform in regards to the Blackwell chip. T-Mobile earnings, I think, are today, right? So T-Mobile, we got PDD, nothing really. Okay, boring. Okay, basically nothing today. But yeah, so where's AI? There it is. T-Mobile has delivered strong growth in customer acquisition and services, leading to raised customer and cash flow guidance for the rest of 2024. Some stocks showing particular pre-market movement are Shopify, which is up 18% following strong Q2 earnings. Shop, S-H-O-P. I don't know why it's talking about Shopify, but Lumen Tech is also up. Hey, thanks, Joseph. Love your show, buddy. Keep it up. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, y'all do better. Hit the like button, guys. We appreciate it. Right, 100%. Exactly, Rodri. Like, again, it really is. Like, I was trying to explain to my buddy of mine that, a buddy of mine, he's about my age, right? So he's mid-30s. I was trying to explain to him what it's like, right? Like what jiu-jitsu is like. And it really is like chess, right? Like the easiest way to describe it's like chess. Although I think there's certain things, like one of the things jiu-jitsu, like if you're good at jiu-jitsu, right? Like usually you can make decisions fast. You can make the right decision quickly. So like I know some people where if they have a decision to make, it takes them forever to do it, right? Like they and again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes that can lead to like, good outcomes as well, right? But I'm definitely not like that, You know, when I make decisions, I make them very quickly. I don't get hung up on them either. And so, you know, I guess my point is like jiu-jitsu a little bit different than chess in that like it rewards good decision making that's fast, like fast decision making. Because in jiu-jitsu, you have to be fast. If you take too long, you're gonna get reversed or swept or you know whatever. Only good thing about the chart is the most recent month. Yeah. SpaceX. Oh, SpaceX is interesting, but SpaceX is not even trying to be a public company like space, right? So it's just a different thing. All right. All right, guys. So the Netherlands data protection watchdog fined Uber Tech 290 million euros, which is about 324.6 mil, saying the ride-sharing and food delivery company transferred drivers' data from Europe to the U.S. without adequate protections. The Dutch Data Protection Authority said Uber collected sensitive info, such as photos, location, identity documents, and even criminal and medical records from drivers in Europe that the company transferred to its U.S. servers with insufficient safeguards in breach of the European Union's general data protection regulation. So Uber's getting in trouble there. Uber did not meet the requirements of the GDPR to ensure the level of protection to the data with regards to transfer to the U.S., according to Alid Wolfson, chairman of the Dutch Data Protection Authority. This is very serious, end quote. And so again, last week, Powell noted the timing and pace of cuts will, quote, depend on incoming data. He's going to take a data-dependent approach as he always does. And again, the markets liked this. They priced in four rate cuts of 25% or 25 basis points by the end of this year, and so most people are thinking they're going to do about a full percentage decrease this year is what they're assuming, right? So 25 basis points is like 25.25% is what 25 basis points is, and so if we do 4 of those, that's a full percentage point, right? So right now, if we look at what's the federal funds rate currently at? Just to give you guys some understanding of like rates and rate decisions here, right? So here's the Fed funds rates. Let's put a yearly chart up. So again, we've been pausing since the last year straight. For a year straight, we've been pausing interest rates, right? And we're at about 5.33. So this will be down to about 4.33. So by the end of the year, most likely. Now it's going to take time. There is time. It's a lag. There is a lag here. All right. So there's going to be a lag. It takes time to hit longer term interest rates like mortgages, auto loans, stuff like that. So it takes time. It's not going to immediately bring down like short term interest or long term rates a full percentage point. It's going to take time. But it is more optimistic for interest rates. The question here, guys, like I hear a lot of people talking about the real estate market and about how it's going to crash or whatever. But I guess the question here is, you know, is it a time to buy now before interest rates go down? Do you guys think real estate prices spike up? Do you think real estate prices spike? Do you think real estate prices spike after rates go down in the next year? You know, do you think prices go up when more people can afford homes? More lending is going to be available to people. Cheaper leverage is going to be available to people with lower interest rates. So do you think home prices are going to go up in this? Is a good question. I don't know. In theory, they should, but it's not always perfect correlations there. We got about 500 people here. We got 30 minutes until durable good orders come out. We got a few hundred votes already. So it's a big week, man. It's a crazy big week. All right, so I'm trying to see how accurate AI is. It said T-Mobile and Shopify recently updated their guidance. Is that true? Where? Where? Yeah, man. So freaking AI. I'm like, hey, only give me news from this morning, Chat GPT. Only this morning. And it says, oh, well, T-Mobile updated their guidance. I'm looking at when the date was. It's July 31st. It's a month ago. AI, come on now. I have to literally scold it like a child. I'm like, okay, but it's a month later. I said, only dropped news this morning. How do you ignore what I said? How dare you, AI? Get better. All right, so Nvidia movement. Oh my gosh, it did it again. Okay. Shopify hasn't moved at all today. All right, hold on. Uh, 8/26 is today's date. Yeah, so again, Nvidia prepares PDD holdings. There we go. This is better. PDD dropped earnings. Futures of the NASDAQ and S&P are up today as hopes build around positive Nvidia earnings and potential rate cuts from the Fed. Here, baby. Nope. 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 Hey, Bubba. Hey, Bubba. That's a good boy. Hey, man. That's a good Bubba. All right. Out of here, dude. Sorry, that's my dog, Bruce. Thank you. All right, guys. Meta dipping? Is it really? Yeah, so Meta came out saying that something that dropped last week on Meta was that Meta was originally trying to get involved with higher price point VR headsets, right? They have since canceled the plans to do a higher end VR headset. And the reason they did was because they said it was really hard to get the price point for that higher end VR headset to be under $1,000. And so they scrapped those plans to create a higher end VR headset. So basically they couldn't make it cheap enough to make it justifiable. You know what I mean? And so, yeah. Yeah, that's my dog, Bruce. He's a good boy. No, he's a good dog. All right, guys. Yeah, looking at our poll, 62% think the SPY breaks lifetime highs today. And again, it's getting pretty close, right? It's getting pretty close. It hit 563s. Lifetime highs are right there at 565. Really right about here, actually. So this is really the lifetime high right about here. Let me get this out the way. Extend this to the left. Edit it so we can make it all nice. All right, so this is the lifetime highs level up here. Yeah, Bruce, bro. Like, again, Rosie and Bruce are just two different dogs. Rosie, super sweet, super dainty, really, really expressive, super considerate of us. Like, Rosie is just that 1 in a million dog that is just super desperate to please, right? Like, she wants to make us happy, and she will do whatever she can to make us happy. I make the dogs wait when I feed them, Like, I see a lot of people feed their dogs and their dogs just eat it up before it's even poured out. I make my dogs wait until I specifically give them permission to eat. And so Bruce is very food motivated. So as soon as I say go ahead, which is my word for you can eat, Bruce will just demolish that food, just eat all of it, right? Rosie I'll give Rosie her food, and I'll say go ahead, and Rosie will literally wait until she'll literally wait until she knows for sure that I gave her permission. And so she's just a good dog, man. Really expressive. Like when my son would go swimming, Rosie would try to jump in the pool and save him. And so she would try to grab him by his hair and save him, really sweet dog. Yeah. And that's kind of how it goes. I don't let him eat until I give him permission to eat. You just gotta, again, I think I brought my mom to the pound yesterday so my mom could adopt a cat. And my mom ended up getting another cat. I didn't want her to get another dog because another dog's just a lot of work, and my mom's getting old. She already has a dog, and so she ended up getting a cat. It wasn't a kitten, which does the best for her. A grown cat's going to be harder to adopt out, and so she kind of saved the cat's life or whatever. So, I brought her to the pound. She got a cat. But we looked at some of the dogs, man, and it's so hard to see those dogs. It's just so hard to see those dogs. Anyways, you got some people that raise dogs, and their dogs basically run their house. They're not potty trained. They don't listen. They have no sense of, training at all, Usually old ladies who want to, who want to make the dogs their babies are the ones that are the most susceptible to this type of thing. I've known a lot who just let their dogs do whatever. They never discipline them. They never do anything with them. And you don't have, I don't ever hit my dog or anything like that. I don't have to. If you raise them right, you don't have to do any of that stuff. But yeah, just good dogs, man. A good trained dog's like a blessing for sure. No, Daphne, I'm pretty sure trains her dogs well. I'm pretty sure trains her dogs well. Yeah, PDD had earnings today. So early this morning for PDD. Right, so PDD had earnings. It's down a lot. I don't know enough about it to really get behind buying it. I just don't know anything about PDD. I have a well-trained cat. Yeah. I don't know. I have a soft spot for dogs, man. It was really hard. My daughter and I walked through the dog section. And by the time we left, my daughter was crying, because some of the dogs were just so sweet, man. They were so sweet. They lick your hands. The old ones are the ones that really get me. All right. So fast food is starting to feel the pressure of low sales. A lot of fast food restaurants are struggling. So fast food companies starting to struggle. I know MCD was. Yeah. So would you buy options before Nvidia earnings? You mean Nvidia options? Not unless I was hedging. Not unless I was hedging. They're doing a straddle or whatever. Just because it's too risky. Again, everybody wants to believe that that they're going to make it big on an options play ahead of earnings, right? So say you buy a bunch of call options and you think Nvidia is going to shoot up. A lot of the time, it's just really unpredictable. Again, a company can have good EPS, good revenue, good guidance, and drop 10%. And vice versa. A company can have bad EPS, bad revenue, bad guidance, and go up 10% or more. And so it's just not a predictable thing. It's a gamble. And I would discourage anybody from doing it. I think unless you're taking what a straddle is buying both a call and a put option of the same stock at the same time, right? And then trying to let the volatility trying to let the volatility play out enough to where you profit from it, right? So if the stock starts to have initially a bad reaction, you can sell your call option and hold your put option through it and hopefully make enough to justify it. The only risk with that, though, is that sometimes you'll see stocks and earnings go down really big and then go up really big and then go down really big. And so, there can be risks on both sides, I think people are getting smarter as well, Joe. I think people are getting smarter. I think a lot of people are understanding how bad fast food is for you, and they're getting smarter. A lot of talks on long-term bonds this weekend after Powell's Jackson Hole. Any insight? Well, yeah, I mean, long-term bonds are always going to move with rate cuts. So like if you want like a very obvious correlation. So the whole market, just to put this in perspective, are getting ready for rate cuts. So Powell basically came out and said it's almost a certainty that they're going to cut rates next month, right? So bond prices and interest rates have an inverse relationship. So when interest rates go down, like with rate cuts coming, yields on newly issued bonds also drop. It makes existing bonds with higher yields more attractive, driving up the prices. But essentially, and you got to understand why, right? So cheaper access to money allows more people to buy bonds, right? Which is going to mean the yields drop. And the prices of the existing better paying bonds are going to go up because, supply and demand, right? And so demand for long-term bonds like TLT tend to benefit from rate cuts, though, because investors often seek longer duration bonds when they think lower interest rates are coming in the future. And so the bonds lock in higher yields for a longer period, making them more desirable. As rates go down, income from bonds becomes more attractive relative to other fixed income investments, leading to increased demand and higher prices, like those held in TLT. And, if you look at TLT bonds, which is like 20-year plus bonds, right? They went up a little bit on Friday from the rate stuff going on, although they're still kind of flat. They haven't really moved much. If you want to look at yields, though, right? So look at TNX here. So these are bond yields, right? You can kind of see bond yields went down. Like 10-year yields went down because of more access to money. So they're going to pay worse, if that makes sense. Right, 100%, David. He said, I don't think it's about people being smart. Everybody knew fast food was bad, but it was cheap and easy. Now you may as well take 100%. I agree. I agree to that, too. I think it's a mix of everything, to be honest, right? I think people are getting smarter. There's more options. Inflation has caused a lot of these prices to go up so much, it's just not worth it, And I haven't eaten at McDonald's in literal years. All right, guys. So we got durable good orders dropping soon. When were the last Nvidia earnings report? It was May 24th. Gotcha. I'm excited, man. That's a massive, massive thing this week, guys. Absolutely massive. My dogs are freaking barking. Hey, baby. Hey, Carol. Sorry. Ma, get the meatloaf. No. She put them out there. They're barking. We got new neighbors across the street, so we're not trying to bother them, you know. Hey, Carol. Sorry. Yeah, so Nvidia earnings, massive report. Massive report. It's going to be second quarter earnings. All right, guys, sorry. Nvidia's the king. No, not ahead of the durable good orders. No, I'm going to wait. Yeah. Revised earnings number 2 on Nvidia, I think. Yeah, so they updated their earnings. It went up 10%. Was their the EPS expectation went up 10%. It doesn't mean we're going to hit that, but the expectation went up. All right, so we're going to go to schedule Nvidia earnings now. Get everything set up there. D5. All right. Yeah, so we have 13 minutes until we have the durable good orders. I don't know how much these are going to affect markets. The easiest correlation to put here is that a positive number here signals economic growth. So, yeah. So higher than expected number here signals economic growth. Lower than expected number signals economic weakness. I'm going to throw it in sub-only mode as well, guys. We are very, very close to hitting 145K. Very, very close. Very, very close. So I'm going to throw it in sub-only mode. We need like 20 subs here. We got 600 people. You know, you can go ahead and do that. We appreciate it. Yeah, it's a massive report for Nvidia. Huge. 'This is Nvidia Q2 earnings. $145,000 subscribers. I'm using Thinkorswim, TD Ameritrade. Yeah, hit that like button, guys. We appreciate it. So we put it in sub-only mode. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Let me know you're subscribed and supportive of the channel. We appreciate it. Again, McDonald's kind of a flat year. But McDonald's has had a great long-term chart. Like if you put up like a monthly chart, it's very strong. Even like a yearly chart, it's slightly green, but it's kind of slowing, I would say. McDonald's is slowing a little bit. Yeah, we got 10 minutes left. is the earnings. I might just sit out. Yeah, I mean, hey, nice bullseye. What does everybody think the NASDAQ will do? What's up, T4? Nvidia to the moon? Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, we got 10 minutes here. Yeah. We only need 25 subscribers left, so we should be able to hit that pretty easily. Big Macs, you know, a funny story. My dad, like I said, my dad was frugal growing up. Is the easiest way to say it. I'll say he was frugal growing up. And so I'd always go to McDonald's with him, and I'd want a Big Mac, right? And this is before the massive inflation, but I'd always want a Big Mac. But I would eat my burger plain, like just meat and cheese and ketchup. And so my dad's like, dude, no. Like, you're not getting a freaking Big Mac, dude. You're getting a double cheeseburger. I'll even buy you 2 double cheeseburgers. You could put them together, and you got your own Big Mac. And so I would never get the real Big Macs. But for whatever reason, I always wanted one, just because maybe I couldn't have one. And as an adult, I understand his logic, you know. But yeah, nowadays that Big Mac would have cost $16. My dad would definitely not buy it for me. Thoughts on Salesforce? I think CRM is a big company, a good company. A little volatile, though. A little bit down on the year, I think. So a little risky in that regard, but it should be okay. Coinbase is at 211s. It's going to move with crypto. Bitcoin specifically is all the way back up to 64K roughly. So Bitcoin's been flying up, and I'm sure Coinbase is benefiting from that as well here. When that burger was burger and no fillers, I'm pretty sure it's the same junk they put in it today. Supermicro Semiconductors, they make the cooling system for Nvidia GPUs. I mean, I think Supermicro Semiconductors could be a good company. The float's too small for my taste, though, right? It's like, so it's too high risk, high reward. I might buy it, it might go up 50%. I might buy it, it might drop, 75%, right? Like the risk reward is it's too risky. It's too risky. Yeah. Yeah, I was a 90s kid, though, so I used to go to Blockbuster. Blockbuster was the place, man. Buffets are king right now because you get a lot more. Maybe. I mean, I don't, I'm not really the biggest. I can't really talk about that. Like, one of my biggest vices, right? My whole family makes fun of me about this. Is food. Like, I will buy a ridiculous amount of food when I go out, right? Because I'm not just buying it for now. I'm buying it to eat later, And Carol cooks like red beans and rice and like a bunch of good stuff. But when we don't have food here, I buy out. I eat out. And when I buy stuff from restaurants, I get so much food. I not even lying. The last few weeks, I've probably spent $2,000 on takeout. And so that's my one vice, bro. My whole family makes fun of me. Like, and especially if I'm feeding somebody else. Like, if my mom is coming over, or if we've got people staying, like family staying here, like, I'm buying all this big food, I don't know if it's good for my kids to see that. And I even tell them, I'm like, hey, when you get older, you can't do this. But, what's the point of living good if you can't eat well, Like, I'd rather spend more and get quality food than save money and eat cheap food, Looks excited to look at movies to rent. Yeah, I used to love Blockbuster. All right, guys. Hey, we got 5 minutes. 5 minutes left. Maybe coin. Normally it's not like that, coin. It's been a busy few weeks, right? And I'm pretty sure my wife has bought. Like, my wife bought it like 25% of that. But it's been a busy couple weeks, and so, you know, in busy weeks, you know, kids, the reason is because my kids started school, right? My kids started school. I want to take them out and eat food after they get off of school. Like, we want to eat well on weekends and hang out and do family time and get some good food. And so, you know, it is what it is. It's not normal like that. I would say in a given month, I might spend like $1,000 to $1,500 on takeout a month, maybe, you know. So it's not a ton, but it's not nothing either. All right, guys, 3.5 minutes. 3.5 minutes. We got 700 people watching live. Yeah. Hit the live button, guys. Hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. Sorry, I'm gonna get rid of the Christmas music. I'm not going to tell people where I go eat, mostly because I got a bunch of weird people that watch the stream, and they might half stalk me, and so no offense to anybody here. And again, that might seem crazy, but it's honestly possible, you know. So, like, I don't know. I'm just not going to tell people specifically where I go eat. We got 3 minutes left, guys. A little bit less than 3 minutes. People are definitely crazy, bro. They really are, man. Yeah. I've told the story later on today after the economy did. Carol's had stalkers. Like, I've had weird people. Usually it has to do with people that are, like, struggling, right? Like, if you're struggling, I've met a couple people that were struggling, or maybe they, like, really wanted to be a YouTuber. And, like, they start being nice to me. And I'm nice generally to people. And so then they start coming at me, like, with their hand out, wanting me to, like, promote their stuff. And then if I don't, they blame their whole failure on me. Like, it's my responsibility or whatever. It just gets weird quick. It's caused me to kind of not tell as many people about my YouTube channel or anything like that. Just because it causes more problems, to be honest. Anyways, guys, we got less than 2 minutes. Less than 2 minutes. Yeah, for sure. Pawn, 100%. All right, guys, we got a minute and a half left. Hit the live button next to the play button if you haven't already. We appreciate the love. One minute left, guys. 1 minute. Nvidia results come out at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. All right, guys, less than a minute. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream. I don't know how much durable good orders are going to influence everything. Again, I really don't know. We'll have to wait and see. If they bring mutual value, it's probably fine, but I haven't really met anybody that did T4, you know? So if they bring mutual value, it's fine, but I just haven't met anybody that did. Usually, I'm the big channel, and smaller channels that can't really benefit me at all want to, you know. And again, I don't mind plugging them, you know, occasionally and all that stuff. That's fine, you know. I try to help people, I really do. 20 seconds, guys, 20 seconds. All right, I'm going to put gold up on the right side just to see that influence here. All right, guys. 10 seconds. Durable goods expected at 4%. 4% for durable goods. And here we go. That's the drop. Let's see what they showed up as. Waiting. They came in at 9.9%. Much higher than expected for durable good orders. Again, 9.9%. Chat, 9.9%. Much higher than expected for durable goods. Honestly, the market hasn't reacted at all. No reaction for durable good orders. And they came in higher than expected here. Again, they came in at 9.9%. Like I said, I told you guys it probably wouldn't be some massive release, but man, I was expecting at least a little bit of volume spiking. No? There's the volume here. Weird. Gold hasn't really moved either. I guess all eyes are on Nvidia today. But yeah, it came in at 9.9% versus core durable goods came in at minus 0.2%. So it's kind of flat, good and bad. Maybe that's why. But man, no reaction here. Yeah, Nvidia might be causing markets to wait. Durable goods or economic growth is essentially what they mean, right? So, and I told you guys before, this probably isn't going to move markets a ton. But honestly, I genuinely thought it would move more than this. So there's Nvidia going up a little bit. The whole market's dead, though. Again, I think this week leading into these reports, we might have choppiness. You know, gold did spike a little bit. Let's see the dollar index. Maybe we're going to get a delayed reaction here. Yeah, so the Dixie spiked up a little bit on higher than expected numbers. Look at the Dixie spike. Yeah, Dixie just broke highs on this report. Nvidia spiked up a little bit as well, but the SPY hasn't moved. Let's look at the NASDAQ here. Yeah, so the NASDAQ spiked up a little bit too. And now it's down some. So we did get a little bit of volume leading into this report. Like, you can see the volume increase a little bit into it. The Dixie spiking and the market going down. Look at the Dixie fall. Or look at the market go down. Could this indicate higher GDP growth? Yeah, I mean, it could. It doesn't mean it is. Yeah, durable goods, 9.9%. Here's the full report on screen. 9.9%. What other news reports are coming out this week? Honestly, we got a whole gang of reports this week. So today we've got durable goods that just dropped. We also have Fed president for San Francisco Daily doing a TV interview at 2 p.m. We'll see if that moves markets. Tomorrow we got CB consumer confidence and the Case-Shiller data. Wednesday, we have Nvidia earnings, and Bostic is speaking, but we have Nvidia earnings, which is probably the most influential thing we've had in a couple months is Nvidia earnings. Nvidia earnings are the end-all, be-all of influence and volatility in the market. Every single trader, investor, finance guy is going to be paying attention to Nvidia most likely on that specific day from their earnings report. It's just such a massive, massive report, right? So Nvidia earnings drop 4 p.m. on Friday. An absolutely huge report. Thursday, we have GDP's first revision data. So again, with GDP data coming out almost at 3%, at 2.8% for the initial estimate, which is the least accurate. Again, the initial estimate's the least accurate. The more updated, more accurate version is the first revision, which is Thursday of this week, right? So Thursday, we have GDP data after Nvidia earnings on Wednesday. Thursday, we have GDP data coming out as well, right? We also have jobless claims unemployment filings on Thursday, which is a huge report, a massive influential report too. We also have Chicago PMI, consumer sentiment, Michigan consumer sentiment data Friday, pending home sales Friday, Bostic speaking Thursday. But also coming out on Friday, which is probably a little bit larger than GDP and jobless claims, is PCE data, right? So the Fed uses the personal consumption expenditure, specifically core PCE, to gauge inflation. Like we use CPI and a lot of other stuff. Retail watches CPI, but the Fed uses PCE data. So PCE data on Friday is probably the second biggest report this week. So the two biggest reports this week are Nvidia earnings on Wednesday, without question, the largest report this week. Friday, we have PCE data. That's the second largest. GDP data Thursday is the third largest, then jobless claims, and then everything else, basically, right? So the two you really want to pay attention to, Friday's PCE report and Wednesday is the biggest one, which is Nvidia earnings. Massive stuff. So again, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We will cover all of it live on the stream right here. And so again, Wednesday, we've got Nvidia earnings. Friday, we have PCE data. Then we also have GDP data Thursday, jobless claims Thursday, and a bunch of other stuff. But those two reports are the biggest. Gonna be a crazy volatile week. Again, y'all just be careful. Also, if you haven't already, check out TopStep. TopStep is a funded account program in futures. They give you a demo. They test your skill with a demo account first. If you pass the test with the demo, they fund you with a regular account between 50K up to 150K with a 90% split. Great way to learn how to day trade. Almost all day traders are gonna lose money, right? So if you put up 5K yourself, guess what? You're probably about to lose that 5K. It's a lot cheaper, and this is something I wish I had in the beginning. It's a lot cheaper to just try TopStep out. If you lose, it's not the end of the world. The monthly subscription for the base one is only $49. You got to make $3,000 in profit without losing $2,000 first and following their rules and conditions. TopStep has some of the best rules in funding. Once you're funded, right? A little bit harder to get funded, but once you're funded, which is understandable, but once you're funded, some of the best rules in the game. A lot easier to stay funded on TopStep. And just a great platform, great service. Honestly, their TopStep X platforms, I believe, has no commissions as well, right? So TopStep X, no commissions, a huge edge in funded account programs. And just a great way to learn how to day trade. So you can try this out. If you lose, it's $49 a month. It's not the end of the world. You know, if you pass it, you get 50K in funding, 90% split. You can build up profit and then fund your own account if you're good enough. And if you're not good enough, you probably would have lost more anyway. So it's just a great way to learn how to trade. There's no PDT rule. They've paid out over $40 million. There's no PDT in futures. You can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, gold, some currencies on TopStep. That's the other dope thing about TopStep. You can trade some currencies as well, right? It's just a great way to learn how to trade. So if you want to check them out, here's the link. Great way to help support your boy here in this channel. Although they are a sponsor, they pay me money. I'm biased because they pay me money. I appreciate the love. Thanks so much. Understand CFTC 4.41 hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations, guys. And yeah. Hey, nice tie. Congrats, brother. Yeah, we're gonna be trading on TopStep X today for sure. Also, big news, man. TopStep getting rid of the daily loss limit. Yeah, TopStep getting rid of all the daily loss limits. So that's dope. And again, I think the market's probably gonna have choppiness today. Probably. But I think the market's going to have choppiness all week leading into Nvidia earnings, PCE data. Will a parabolic rally come soon? Ooh, yeah, I think now you can set your own daily loss limit and stuff like that on TopStep too, which is dope. Yeah, I'm looking at other stuff. So Icon Enterprises may issue and sell depository units of up to 400 million. Does the market go up? I mean, does it? I don't know, man. Is the sky blue? All right, so we are scalping a little bit on TopStep X right now. This is a challenge account, so. Take a little bit off here. We're up about $800 on this account. We might add some to it too. And again, this is TopStep X platform, really nice. And so we're breaking down here. I'm just going to sell the rest of this. So we're still up 700 plus in this account. Yeah. I just multitask today. All right, guys. Yeah, so I'm buying a little bit more on Top Step here. We got 2 contracts. I could add to it, but I don't know if I want to do it. I think we're gonna get choppy action today, but it really is gonna depend on what Nvidia does. Like Nvidia is also up a little bit. I think you have to take context of what Nvidia is doing. So we're gonna keep our trade here. We're kind of flat. Big drops. I'm gonna have to cut this. Look at Nvidia. So Nvidia is what's dragging the market down. I'm gonna buy this though. Smaller size. And see if we can build up some profit this morning. Nvidia kind of has a double bottom here, so we will add scale into this. So it just cracked lows again. We'll add to it. It's approaching the previous closing price, so I do want to scale into it, some size here. I got to risk it for these accounts. 4 contracts here. We're right at that previous closing price, so I want to see if it retraces back up and bounces. Got into the green. I really like this bounce level for Nvidia. That's why I'm buying in here, but there we go. All right, we took half of it, like took out our risk level here. Just took a little bit more off. We did get the bounce right at that previous closing price. There we go. I'm gonna add to this. Give it time. See if it rebounds some here. I'm not going to let this go too much against me. I want to give Nvidia time to bounce here, and so I don't mind 2 contracts. I think 2 contracts is fine. I'm taking half of this off. The reason I'm taking half of this off is because Nvidia is starting to flush underneath this previous close. So I'm going to get out flat on that last trade, really, maybe down a little bit. But I don't like Nvidia. Look at Nvidia flushing down. I appreciate it, life. Look at Nvidia dump all the way down here. This is dragging the market down big right now. Crazy drops, honestly, man, in the market. We'll see if we come back here. But a big pullback in markets today, chat. Look at Nvidia falling. Nvidia's fall is what did it. The dollar index is kind of spiking up with us. All right, so we're out. We just made a little bit of money back catching this bounce. You can see we're up 515 in this account. We caught the bounce. I don't know what I want to do with this now, though. I think I like a long here. I'm not telling you what to do. Don't copy me. Not an investment professional. But I think we also might reject at this previous close. So I'm going to wait, I think. Yeah, so we hit that previous closing price. See what the market does. In terms of general balance, it might bounce up a little bit, I think, here. Yeah, there it goes. Like heading up to that previous closing price. Now, the closing price might reject us, or we might continue to go sideways. I don't know. There we go. I'll show you this trade here that we got. This is on Top Step X, guys. Kind of going back and forth here. Yeah. All right, so we're kind of chopping back and forth over and over again. I'll short it if this goes high enough. All right, I'm gonna short this and then maybe add to it. All right, so we got 2 contracts here. That's it. We're right at that previous closing price. You can see how similar this is. I'm watching Nvidia basically and day trading this. All right, we're gonna take half off there, let the rest go down. Maybe add some to it if it looks weak. Okay, we'll add to it. Yeah, Powell, again, I told you guys I thought he would be dovish. Again, he wants to cut rates next month, right? And so you got to look at it in that context of like Powell wanting to cut rates next month and what that means. What that means is he's probably going to be dovish, right? He wants to push for rate cuts. He wants the economy to be strong. And generally speaking, you can predict what happens with balance, right? So Powell wants to be balanced. The last Fed meeting, he was a little bit more hawkish, right? And then this Fed meeting, he was a little bit more dovish. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to cut it. I wanted the short, and I think Nvidia is right at that previous closing price. But unless it breaks down here, I don't want to keep riding this bounce back. Like, I'm kind of longer term bearish here, but I'm going to wait and then just maybe re-enter at another moment, I think, you know. He didn't sound freaked out to me. He seemed all right. Like Powell seemed okay in terms of everything. Like, he sounded pretty dovish, like they need to cut rates. You got to understand, a couple of meetings ago, Powell was freaked out about the opposite end of jobs, meaning that the labor market was too strong and causing inflation problems. You know, so I get it. Like, there's like polarity and people want to fear things, you know. But yeah, you also have to take it like with a grain of salt and like understand the market's not always going to go into a recession. It's not always going to crash. Usually it's not going to. And so if you find yourself as one of those people that are constantly predicting a big thing, you're probably watching a YouTuber who wants to get clicks, right? Like, YouTubers want to get clicks. They want people to watch. And if you tell them things are pretty like standard, it's not the most exciting thing. They might not click it. If you tell them things are about to crash and it's the craziest time in the world and you better do this now, you know, what happens? People click, right? And if you get too wrapped up in what those type of people say, you're going to get misled over time into, whatever. And so you just got to be smart, understand things are sensationalized in markets. That's kind of how it goes. It's also an election year, so you're going to get stuff like that much more than during non-election years, right? Like during election years, they're going to be like, it's the end of the world. You got to run. It's the end of the world. One side, again, I always say this, but one side is going to make you think it's the greatest it's ever been. The other side is going to make you think it's the worst it's ever been. The truth is somewhere in the middle, and you can see who's really objective by what their viewpoint is, right? Like a lot of people that push for one side, they're just going to parrot what that side says, The truth is usually somewhere in the middle. All right, so Elliott Investment Management reports a 9.7% stake in Southwest Airlines, LUV. All right, so NASDAQ's popped up. NVIDIA's up there as well. Dixie's trying. Look at NVIDIA run, though, man. NVIDIA making huge strides. They're very expensive right now. Yeah. Top 3 transparent streamers in the world. I mean, we definitely trade off stream and do stuff. Like, I don't tell people everything I do. I don't want to tell people everything I do either. It just pressure. The more pressure that I have on me, the harder it is to trade, right? And so, it's an intimidating feeling having 6, 7, 800 people, 1,000 people, 3, 4, 5,000 people watch you trade. Like, it's not the easiest thing to do. And so you better believe I trade off stream. You better believe y'all aren't going to see all my trades. That's not a reasonable expectation, like you have to have reasonable expectations for things. And, this is a situation in which you just got to understand, profitable trading isn't always showing you everything I do, right? You got other people that claim to. Most of the time they're full of crap. Like the reality is, if anybody tells you they've got like a 90% accuracy rate, and a 5-to-1 reward to risk ratio, they're full of crap. It's just not real. It's just not real. And you got to understand that's how a lot of people go. That's what a lot of people do. Yeah. Don't think we'll have a crash, but you got to wonder what was up with that correction a few weeks ago. Well, we all know exactly why we corrected a few weeks ago. It's from the yen carry trade. Basically, the Bank of Japan came out really hawkish, which meant that investors would get less cheap access to leverage and less cheap money through the yen, right? And people would use the yen to buy U.S. assets like stocks and stuff. So whenever they found out that they would get less favorable interests on the yen, they sold a bunch of their U.S. stock positions, simultaneously with each other. And that caused a big correction in markets short term because basically a lot of investors using the yen to buy stuff had to unload a large portion of their U.S. investments, right? And this is something like big hedge funds do, big banks. They all use yen for cheap leverage, right? Or they did. They're trying to find the cheapest leverage they can use, right? And so what happened is that they all started unloading U.S. positions simultaneously, and it caused this big correction, and then the Bank of Japan came out pretty dovish. They saw the drastic negative reaction that we got from it. They came out pretty dovish afterwards and said, hey, we'd probably only raise rates once. We're going to go back to dovish after this, blah, blah, blah. And so everybody's fears were eased a little bit, and the market rebounded, is essentially what happened, right? Like that's basically what happened a couple weeks ago when we had that big market correction. It's also why we bounced back so quick from it. Like we rebounded so fast from it. Hey, what's up, 4? Hey, thanks, man. All right, guys. Fears that Japan could do it again. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it definitely is a fear. You know, yeah. But again, you guys also have to understand that corrections are normal, right? Like, you need corrections. We're not going to go straight up forever. Like, the problem is this, right? Is that the market will do like this, right? And people who miss out on the broad move like this, right? Like, people who miss out on this whole move, every time we do this, it's kind of music to their ears, right? Like, they want us to correct or crash or pull back or whatever because they missed out on the whole move, right? So they want to believe that they didn't miss out on much because we were going to crash anyway. All right, so every time we get stuff like this, what do they say? They say, oh, we're crashing. Haha, see, I told you so. It's the end of the world. And then we bounce back, and then usually it's like manipulation, guys. Like, this is the end of the world. When we bounce back, it's manipulation. I see it all the time, all the time. And again, I don't know. Maybe we do crash. Eventually we crash. Statistically, we crash once every 10 years on average, right? It depends on what you call a crash. Statistically, we drop quickly 20% once every 10 years. But pretty consistently as well, we bounce back to very short term. Like, even in 2008, we rebounded very quick versus the crashes we got in 2008. 2020 as well, we bounced back pretty fast. So, I mean, the ones that make out like bandits during crashes are usually ones who buy up stuff. Like, you buy up stuff during those big pullbacks. You're going to have people telling you not to do it. They're going to tell you it's the end of the world. They're going to tell you, whatever. You got to think for yourself. Do whatever you got to do. But, fearful when others are greedy, greedy when others are fearful, blood running in the streets, whatever cliched saying you want is kind of how it goes. So we are trading a different account now. And we're up a little bit here. Yeah, I know. I'm going to probably look to attack like choppy sideways stuff today just because we got Nvidia earnings, PCE, GDP data this week. So my guess is that we're going to have kind of flat action. I'm going to look for a range to open up at the open and then just attack the sideways range most likely is what my plan is today. Although who knows, man, we did go up. Let me see. Here, I'm going to cut this and just wait. So we did go up. Yeah, so here's the longer term range, right? So flat day, yeah, I think we're going to have flat today. Now, I don't know what the range is. Maybe it looks like this so far, right? So maybe this is the big range. Maybe if we stay sideways leading into the open, we'll get something like this is the range, I don't know. Time will tell. We'll have to wait and see. It's Top Step X funny. So when you sign up, you just have to select Top Step X, And again, if you want to check out Top Step, here's the link. I appreciate it. All right, guys. So it's 9 a.m. We got 30 minutes. 30 minutes. I still got the durable goods thing. I guess I do. All right, we're gonna switch to day trading mostly. We got durable goods out. Pre-market. All right, so French authorities, yeah. So the Telegram CEO was arrested at a French airport. The Telegram CEO. Where is this guy? Oh, so this guy's Russian. For an arrest warrant alleging his platform has been used for money laundering, trafficking, and other offenses. Wow, Telegram, man, that's crazy. Telegram has kind of taken off too, and like eclipsed, I would say, WhatsApp, right? Like WhatsApp used to be used. I just go by what like I communicate with sponsors, affiliates, like other businesses with, right? Like I used to connect with them through WhatsApp. Now we connect directly with them through Telegram. Telegram is who we look at, we connect with. So interesting. Yeah. Yeah, it's time, guys. So market opens up in about 25 minutes. 25 minutes. The dollar index is spiking. We got the Q up there. We got Nvidia down there too. Yeah, so we did get choppiness on the Q and NASDAQ. I thought we might, right? The other one to look at is the SPY. The Q, I think, is a little bit farther away from lifetime highs. Like, lifetime highs on the Q are at 503s. So, like, we're still at 480s. So, we got a long way to go on the Q. The SPY, though, the Q is a little bit more tech-heavy. The SPY is still pretty close. Like, this white line right here is all-time highs. So, yeah. You know, we'll see what happens. All right, guys. Whew. We're trying to be smart and just wait. But I do think we're going to have choppy behavior today. Sideways, neutral action. Hey, what's up, Life? Hey, thanks for becoming a member, brother. Appreciate it, man. Not a fan of ARK. Yeah, I don't know if I like Kathy Woods. Some of her picks are a little bit hypey for me, I guess is the easiest way to put it. Yeah, that's kind of crazy, though, man. 20 years is ridiculous, bro. Like, okay. Like... Like, they can't get mad at Telegram guy unless he was directly, specifically involved with it. Like, how are you going to charge him for it? You know what I mean? Like, you know how much crazy stuff goes on every modern social media platform? You know what I mean? Like, are you going to charge that's just not sensical at all. It just makes no sense. It's so, yeah, I mean, it's just off. It's just strange. It's weird. You know? Hey, what's up, Matt? Yeah, but... Yeah. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. Not sensical, you know? What is that, pawn? Oh, hey, this is hey. Tesla robotaxi was being discussed. Said Tesla owners would have the ability to drive their Teslas to work, then set it to be available for pickups. So your Tesla can basically be working a job while you're paying for it, while you two are paying for itself, and you could have it set to be back at your work and off duty. Interesting. The only I'm okay with it. Like, a robotaxi would be dope. Like, I would buy a Tesla in a heartbeat if I felt like it could make me money while I'm doing other stuff, right? Like, easily. The problem, though, is that, like, again, the real problem is that it seems too good to be true, and usually it is. And sometimes, a lot of the time, Elon Musk overpromises and underdelivers, right? That's what I fear regarding that. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I worry about regarding that, is overpromises, underdelivers. So... Bro, the amount of people that call their ex a narcissist. I'm sorry, I know I talked about this last week. But, like, you look at social media, dude, it's everywhere, man. Like, look, there's just not that many narcissists out there. Like, it's not that common. Right, 100%, right. Good insurance is necessary with that type of stuff. It seems too good to be true. I'm just worried, again, it's too good to be true. But again, if it works, I'm interested in it. We'll see what happens, right? I'll buy 5 Teslas right now and throw them out there and just have a fleet if it works. But if it doesn't work, I'm going to be hesitant. Well, no. I mean, look, like I said, there's a difference between being manipulative and a narcissist. There's a difference between being like having a big ego and being a narcissist. There's a difference between like being a narcissist and just being like a dislikable person. Like there's some people that have big egos. Doesn't mean they're narcissistic. There's some people that are manipulative. It doesn't mean they're narcissistic, right? Generally speaking, narcissists have a very distinct pattern, and they, like I said, they don't have empathy towards others, right? And again, I'm not saying like you might know somebody that was an actual one, and that's okay. I'm not saying you didn't, right? I just see so many, like the amount of times I've seen people say their ex was one after a rough breakup is like it's gone up so much. I would say in the last like few years, that yeah, and again, maybe they are, maybe they're not. I don't know. Why wouldn't Tesla just do their own Uber if it was that easy? Right, that's what I'm thinking of. Like, if it was that easy, they should be able to. I guess what's the point? What's the point? Again, here's the problem: is that I don't think I would feel very weary allowing somebody. The real problem is how do you? Okay, so something that happens to rental cars right now. Right, so if you rent a luxury vehicle, what's happening to like people who rent out Lamborghinis and supercars is that, and this is very regular, this happens, right? They'll rent out a Lambo, they'll rent out a Ferrari, and the person that rents the car out, it uses like a fake name, like a fake license or whatever, and they take this car, they try to disable the GPS, and then they try to get the car flown overseas. Once that car is flown overseas, there's very, very, very low probability that you're ever getting it back, right? And they understand this, And so what these people do is they put it on like a barge in like a shipping container, and then they leave and you never see it again, right? And so I guess the question with Tesla and robotaxis is how do you stop that type of behavior too? Like how do you stop that from happening? Because I would assume like letting somebody drive your car regularly or even ride in your car by itself without any type of supervision, I'm sure that's going to be rampant too, no? Why wouldn't Tesla just do their own Uber? Yeah. Covert ones? Yeah, I mean, maybe. I'm sure there's a lot of dangerous ones, right? The easiest way to see it is, do they show empathy towards people, right? Like, do they show empathy? That's the easiest way. Like, do they care enough about people, right? Like, my daughter can make me mad sometimes, as a teenager does, but she shows empathy. Like, she goes to the pound and cries when she sees the dogs at the pound. You know what I mean? She cries when she sees old baby pictures of my son, So she like gets in fights with my son all the time, like not actual fights, but like arguments and tussles, as brother and sister do, right? But she loves them and she has empathy towards them, right? Like that one specific thing is a powerful thing, right? Empathy for other people means that like you might still manipulate them, but you don't want to see them hurt, right? And that's the difference between like a narcissist who might actually want to see you hurt, and so forth, right? Hey, all right. All right, sorry, my fam came in here. We had to say a little prayer and let the kids go off to school. But yeah, anyways. Yeah, I'm saying bye to my family. My bad, guys. All right. When rental... Yeah, so somebody's saying, you know how much paperwork. They either fly it. This is a big thing, right? There's documentaries on people trying to steal supercars by shipping them overseas, whether through plane, boat, whatever it is. And they get them overseas and they tear them down and, you know. Are you an NFL stat man? No. No. Yeah, I mean, I'm competitive in nature too, right? Like I want to, you know, yeah, I don't know NFL stats like that. But I watch NFL. I watch college. I watch baseball. Mostly Major League Baseball, but I also watch LSU play baseball, especially if they're doing well. That specific year, I like watching MMA, specifically UFC or PFL or One Championships. I watch Jiu-Jitsu as well. You know, like the Craig Jones Invitational, ADCC. So I'll watch all of that stuff. I'm a big sports guy. I like watching sports, but it's something that every year is different. Sometimes I have the time to really pay attention to football and watch the pros and stuff like that. Same thing with baseball, although baseball is freaking, there's so many games. But yeah. So it depends, right? It depends on the year. How much I'm invested in the sports depends on the year. No, I don't bet on sports. No. I don't think there's much edge betting on sports. Like, here's the problem. All right, you want to know the real problem? I compared the sports marketing to penny stock marketing, right? So, like, if you want to get into penny stock day trading, you're going to have a bunch of nonsense people telling you how easy it is. You just got to buy their course. You just got to buy their service, and you can get rich trading penny stocks. That is completely untrue. Penny stocks are some of the most volatile, risky, and unpredictable assets you could ever trade, right? The likelihood that you're going to get rich day trading penny stocks outside of selling a course on how to day trade penny stocks is very, 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 very small, right? Betting on sports, right? Betting on sports, again, if you Google, hey, betting on sports, you're going to get a bunch of nonsense gurus that do the same thing, tell you how easy it is to make money betting on sports. Just buy their sport picks and you'll get rich, they'll tell you. The reality of it is very, 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 very unlikely that you are ever going to make a lot of money betting on sports, right? And the most people make the money, the market's there, lie in people selling you the call outs, the picks. Here's the truth. And anybody that understands like the math behind it and the industry as a whole understands this truth, right? And you got a lot of people that don't. And there's a lot of confirmation bias floating around. But here's the point. These sports betting platforms, right? These companies behind sports betting, okay, they hire mathematicians to create the odds for these companies. Like the people who create these odds for these companies are literal mathematicians, right? They have the best edge in the game. Like they hire the best people in the game to do that specifically, right? And so if you bet on sports, that's who you're betting against, is the odds makers. And they know their stuff, man. They are not wrong about a lot of stuff. They know where the edge is, and they make those bets very, very even, right? So like you're not going to have any type of significant edge betting on sports. The ones that do actually have an edge, which would make them on par, again, with the odds makers, get kicked off the platform very fast. Very fast. They send them back off notices. We don't want your action. You can't bet more than $5 on sports, right? And so all these guys talking about how great they are, if they haven't been kicked off, they're probably not great, you know? And that's the truth, right? And again, that industry is so big, people want to believe they can get rich. That makes them ignore a lot of red flags. But that's the reality of it. That's the truth behind it, you know, and anybody that understands it, understands it. Other people who don't, they want to believe it's real and whatever, they can do whatever they want to do. But that's the truth, right? Right. Well, guessing outcomes comes from math, right? It comes from implied odds. It comes from a lot of different stuff. Tree. So again, they're mathematicians with that stuff, brother. Like they the likelihood that you think Joe Blow off the street is just gonna beat them at their game comes from a lack of understanding, And again, everybody wants to believe, like, people are so passionate about sports, right? Just like people are passionate about trading, that it's really a hard thing for them to accept that you're not going to be able to get rich being some type of sports bettor. Like, you're not going to beat those guys. You're just not going to do it. And if you do, they're going to kick you off anyway, right? So the odds are just so low. But everybody's so passionate about sports. Everybody's dream job is to watch sports and get paid for it, right? So again, people tend to ignore a lot of red flags, a lot of confirmation bias behind it, and it is what it is, But with that said, you got a lot of like really predatory odds maker or like bet picks guys saying, "Oh, buy my picks, guys." Everybody and their grandma's got some type of betting pick, thing, and yeah. I don't really want to go too deep into it. We got 6 minutes, guys. 6 minutes. Nvidia's spiking up a little bit too. Yeah, and then what I try to teach people here, right, is I try to teach people not to be super susceptible to that type of stuff. Like, have some resilience about you. Like, understand when somebody's trying to take advantage of you. It's kind of what I said about, like, the robo-taxi thing. If it seems too good to be true, you should look at it with skeptical eyes, Yeah, for sure, Casey. You know how it goes, dude. Like, again, I got people on my Facebook that are trying to like pump that stuff, and I just, SPY just broke highs again, so SPY might actually break lifetime highs at the open. We're gonna get ready to day trade here. We got Top Step X up. We're going to be trading on there too at the open, playing around with it. Yeah, bro, listen, if in the rare event that the robo-taxi is legitimate, in terms of the business ideas that people have right now for it, if it works out, dude, I will buy a bunch of robo-taxis. And again, subscribe to my live stream. I'll let you know how it goes. If it is something like that, I'm interested. Depends on what kind of gains they're promising, but I'm interested. But there's also this factor of, like, anytime you get a new industry like this, right, to really see how good or bad that industry is might take time. Right, it might take time. An example of this is like people. Here's a good example. Right, is like a few years ago, fidget spinners became like really big. Like they became really, really popular. Right, so people bought all these fidget spinners and they started selling them. And when they first came out, they were like $40. Right, they were like $40-$50 a piece for the really good ones, and like people were making millions of dollars slanging fidget spinners. And so people were making all this money, like opening up stores, like brick and mortar retail stores, selling fidget spinners and like stuff like that. People on Amazon FBA were slanging them for all this money. They would buy bulk and get them for like $10 and then sell them for $40 and make all this money or whatever. And so people had this gold rush of fidget spinners, right? Within like 6 months, right? Because of so much saturation in that market, right? Within 6 months, the average price of a fidget spinner went from like $25-$30 down to like $5. So the people that bought bulk and got them what they thought was cheap at $10 ended up losing crap tons of money by just the pure saturation, right? The mass overproduction of these things, right? The brick and mortar stores that ended up opening up are no longer around anymore, and people lost millions and millions of dollars on it, right? And so I guess the point is, like, when you first get a new emerging market like that, whatever it is, whether it's robo-taxis, fidget spinners, whatever it is, there's usually, like, you usually got to wait and let it settle down a little bit. And if you're going to get involved in it when it initially starts, because early is better sometimes, you just have to be willing to take the risks of that, because the market could change for the better or worse, right? It could also go the other end, where it makes more and more money over time, and the people that get in early are rewarded for it. But you got to just try to be as objective as you can. Look into it deeply and thoroughly before you invest heavy money, you know. Anyways, we got a minute left. 1 minute left. Man, so here's a funny story according to Pawn. We got 1 minute to the open. Catherine Hedinger came up with the original idea for the fidget spinner in 1993. She got a patent for it in 97, but it expired in 05, and she couldn't afford the $400 renewal fee to hold on to the rights of the device. Ew. It's terrible. If she would have renewed that, she could have been a freaking millionaire or billionaire if she would have still had the patent for it. But the patent expired. And, yeah. It's arguable whether she would have kept it. Like, there would be workarounds anyway, but she would have at least made some money originally, you know, from it. So. Alright. Here's the opening bell. Again, we've had choppiness last 5-10 minutes. All right, so there's the opening bell, guys. There's the opening bell. Again, watch the SPY closely today. SPY might break lifetime highs. We're zooming in on that here. Watching Nvidia flush down a little bit. I'm going to let the opening bell play out and then attack choppiness, whatever that means. All right, so we're 1 minute into the open. Got flat action still. We're going to see if we break out of this range on the NASDAQ here. The SPY's starting to push up to test highs of the day here at 563.40s. It's close. It's right there. Let's see if it breaks the highs of the day here. I'm going to guess it will. So I might buy this dip, but I might be wrong here. Never mind. I retract my previous statement. Don't copy me. Although, I'm going to buy this. All right, we just got out. We made about $100 real quick. Just now buying that dip. And then look at that retracement. Man, wow. Again, I thought we would go up, but man, it's quick. All right, so there's the SPY getting close. Nvidia pumping up too. And SPY just tapped lifetime highs. Or not lifetime highs, I'm sorry. High of the day. It's still got a ways until it hits lifetime highs. Oof, it tapped it for a second. All right, I'm out. We did break the highs on the SPY though, so we still got lifetime highs still way up there, so we still got a long ways to go. This white line up here is the lifetime highs. This was the high of the day though. Nvidia going green over 130 still, so. Listen, guys, we need 14 subscribers to break 145,000. 14. I would never pressure you, but do it now. Hit the subscribe button. We need 14 subscribers. Listen, I'm talking to you right there. You're like, man, I don't know if I should subscribe to this guy. You know, he's one of the top 3 best looking traders of all time, but I don't know. Do it now. Everything we do here is free. We don't charge for any of our content. Everything's free. We don't sell a course. We don't even claim to be good. Everything we report is free. We cover every major economic and stock market report live right here on YouTube, completely free. Have no paywalls behind any of our content. Do it now. Subscribe. SPY ripped up. Almost up to 564s. Very close here to lifetime highs. Nvidia is churning up too. Look at this pump. I'm going to short this. A little risky for sure. Catching a falling knife here, but that's all right. All right, so we just made a little bit. I think we actually got out flat, but that's all right. All right, so we're short again. 2 contracts here. Getting punished right now. We got to take larger risks to clarify on these funded account programs. We'll switch to our actual funded account in a second. But we got to get that initial pop first. There we go. All right, so we're out. We're up to about $500 in profit. A little risky, but we caught the top there. We caught the reversal that we were looking for. Hey, thank you, Nicholas. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you, man. Listen, guys, subscribe. You know, John Beginner Trading. Do it now. Super Micro is kind of flat here, but man, the SPY's up there, dude. SPY's up to 164s. Or 564s. Now it's rejecting big, though. Look at this big old pullback here. All right, we're gonna buy this dip. Just made another $100 or so, it looks like. All right, just made a little bit more. Up to about 630 in profit here. We're gonna short now. That's a little risky. All right, we're out. Up 650. Nvidia is getting closer to the highs of the day. Watch Nvidia. It's almost to the highs. It might squeeze up here. Let's see. All right, SPY's up to 563s. Yeah, there's Nvidia testing highs, just broke highs of the day. SPY all the way back up, looks strong. Could be a double top here though, we'll see. That looks weak. All right, so we just made another quick little scalp here. We're up to 750 on the day. 750. Good trading since the open. And again, we are using Top Step's funded account program in futures. This is Top Step X. I'm pretty sure there's no commissions on this platform. One of the best in the game. If you want to day trade with me, I'm trading basically the QQQ price action in what's called the NASDAQ 100 futures contract. Same price action as the Q. No PDT rule in futures. Top Step. This is Top Step X's platform, which I think they have no commissions. They give you a demo. They test your skill with a demo. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail, you only lose what you pay for it, which in this case is $49. So if you lose, you're out $49. It's not the end of the world. But if you pass it, you get $50K in funding, 90% split. They've paid out over $40 million to their traders. If you want to check them out, here's the link. And remember, they're an affiliate of mine. They pay me money. I'm biased because of it. Understand, I don't guarantee anything. Confirm all this stuff with them. Not an investment professional, not liable. If you lose, always make your own assessment. Trade smart, guys. I do trade off stream. You're not going to see all my trades, all that good stuff. Yeah, there's no commissions, just very low fees per trade. All right, so Nvidia just ripped up and broke highs, but the NASDAQ is actually pulling out a little bit. Again, I think we're going to get choppiness today, man. We got such massive stuff this week. Like, we've got such busy weeks this week that I think the whole market might be apprehensive. Look at Nvidia go, guys. Nvidia over 131s. Nvidia's up there, but the NASDAQ hasn't really followed us, so we lost a little bit there. Add to this 2 contracts here. Took half off. Now we're down on this one. I could add to it, but man, such a big turnaround really quick. I gotta just attack that choppy behavior though. So we'll buy this. Add to it. Take it off, and then add to it. Just getting punished here. We're going to switch accounts. I don't want to give it all back on this one. So we'll go to our actual funded account. I'm going to have to take risks there. And so, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Wait, why is this? Oh, this is trading me. Trade of 8. Yeah, we'll come back to it. With these funded account programs, you got to take risks. But I'm still kind of learning the appropriate risks to take, you know. All right. This is an actual 50K funded account. Let's see if we can get better results here. We're starting to look really red. So these are micro contracts, just to clarify. All right, so we're up a little bit here. We'll add some while we're green. There we go. A little bit more. All right, so we just scalped about 30 bucks. Yeah, I mean, Sam. So I'm the Top Step X platform is a challenge, like a combine account, right? So in that situation, I gotta just take risks there. You know, like really, what I try to do is I try to make 1,500 one day and then 1,500 the next, or break it into 3 days is usually the move. But when I'm trading my actual funded account, it's different here. You know. All right, so we got 4 contracts. We're not gonna add any more to this either. I think we're gonna get choppiness today. There we go. Take half off. Lock that in. Kind of flushing down now, though. I'll get the music back on in a second. I don't know. I'm kind of flat on the rest of this. I'll take half off here just to protect it, so we can make at least a little bit over here, unless it dumps. If it dumps, we're more protected too. Yeah. So we ended up making a little bit there. The chances of getting a rate cut are pretty probable. I'm not going to make it 100%, but it's pretty up there, right? It's pretty up there, you know. So we did end up flushing down here, but it looks like it's stabilizing, so I might buy some of this. I'll add to it 2 contracts. Give it a little bit of time to bounce back. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it's 90. It's pretty freaking high, right? Like the only outside risks of no rate cuts are gonna be if inflation gets crazy, right? Like if inflation spikes up to like obscene levels, then it's, you know, a little bit more likely that we're gonna pause again, but it's still pretty unlikely, you know. Yeah, we're trying to size up, but we got to be green before we size up first. And so I just want to see if this holds, which it doesn't look like it is. Market's just kind of boring today. SPY's flat. I told you guys we get choppiness today. I just wasn't the most patient with my choppy attacks. Nvidia just dumped under that previous closing price and under the 200 EMA. A very big drop. Yeah, slight bearish trend, guys. So a slight bearish action today. But we're kind of going up and down. Again, it's Nvidia earnings week, so it's just kind of a crazy volatile week. How'd you guys do last week? Did y'all make money? Yeah, I bought this. It's not really working for me. If Nvidia flushes under this major milestone level, I'll have to cut this and just get out small. I was hoping the SPY might reverse and make a test towards that lifetime high today, but here's a retracement, at least a little bit of one. Lost some back. Good week. Nice. I think I made money, but it was small. But I'll have to go back and check. I'm not 100%. Big downwick pressure coming through. Oh. Hey, nice Faye. Yeah, we're starting to rebound. Now we're kind of green on this position. I'll let it work a little bit. A little bit off. No, we're back. Let's rebound it a little bit. Really indecisive behavior, so it's not like, I don't know if we've got like a really big edge. Alright, so we're up 50 on this one. Yeah. Top step X up 434 or so on this one. Yeah, I'm probably going to go ahead and bow out for the day. I just don't see anything I really like. We only need 10 subscribers left, though, guys. My OCD's getting to me, so, I mean, listen, I'm not going to pressure you to subscribe. 470, 500 people here, you know, but do it now. Do it now. If you haven't already, listen, I'm going to sell you on my channel one more time. Everything we do is free. If you want to know what's going on in finance, we're going to cover it. Whether it's Jerome Powell speaking, inflation data dropping, GDP data, PCE data, unemployment data, Nvidia earnings, Apple earnings, Amazon earnings, Walmart earnings, Google earnings, day trading activity, even penny stock stuff we've been covering a little bit more lately. Swing trading, we swing trade, we invest. We do all this different stuff for free. But my main thing is, like, I don't want to be a guru. I don't sell a course. We don't have any paywalls behind any of my content. We do have sponsors. I'm super transparent with them. I tell you, they pay me money. I'm biased with all of them. And I just try to be, if I watch somebody, I try to be what I want, what I would want to watch, right? So again, if you want to know what's going on in the market, we're going to cover all of it always. Every single morning, every single afternoon. You got a big Fed minutes report, FOMC meeting. We stream it all live, completely free here. So, hey, subscribe. Do it now. Everything's completely free. We don't charge a penny for anything. With that said, though, guys, I'm going to go ahead and bow out for the day. We need 8 subscribers left. Little baby 8 subscribers. I'm just going to go ahead and assume that you guys are going to subscribe after I close the stream down. But no, it's all good. We'll hit it tomorrow for sure. I love you all. Y'all have a great day. Y'all be safe. Again, if you want to check out Top Step, check it out. And I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good. I appreciate it, D-Boy. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, brother. Hey, y'all be good. Have a great day.